So we have our Hello World site up, but let's look at what all this stuff means in our first HTML document. So we have our HTML document here. This first line up here, doc type HTML, you always have to have the doc type start in the HTML document off, and there's different versions of HTML. Start at version 1, and currently we're in HTML5, so this is just telling the browser that we're writing in HTML5. All right, so you have the doc type to start the HTML document off, and then you have the actual HTML document. And right here we have the header section. This header section is kind of like all the behind the scenes info. So to start off, we have these 3 tags right here. And don't worry about this for right now. Basically, it's one of the benefits of using Bootstrap. These guys that created Bootstrap for us are professionals, and they know how to make sites look clear across all devices. And they put these pre-required tags in here for us. You can look them up if you want. See, this has to do with Internet Explorer. This right here has to do with the viewport when you get to like a mobile device, the initial scale. And so ignore that for now. We'll just trust them that they have it, and you'll be able to look this stuff up and understand it later. So the first one we're going to come to is this title tag here. And this title tag is what you see at the top of the page in the tab. So let's look at it so you can get a better feel. So we have Bootstrap 101 template, and let's go over to where we have. So you can see it now where it says Bootstrap 101 template. Okay, so just to show you, we can change this. So let's go over to Sublime, and you can just look. You don't have to do this as well. But we're going to take this, and we're going to say new title tag. All right, save it. Go over to Google Chrome, reload the page. See how it changes to new title tag up here? So we have that tag. This is also kind of appears whenever you do Google searches. You see, like when you do a Google search, you see what the big link is. That's the title of the page. All right. Then next, we have this style sheet. So HTML is the structure of the page, and CSS is the style of the page. So without a CSS document, then you just have a standard looking website. Back in like the 80s and 90s where it was just text and, there was no style to it, and you'll see that in the coming lectures. But for now, this is telling the browser how to get to the style sheet, the CSS document, from the current index document. So it's saying go into CSS, it says that right here, and then look for the bootstrap.min.css file. So if we go over here, go into CSS, then you have this bootstrap.min.css file. And we don't really have much content on the page right now, so that's why you don't see much of a style. But this is telling you where to go. And the cool thing about Bootstrap is it comes loaded with a bunch of predetermined styles that we can edit for, to make the site look however we want it. Also, as said before, the guys that created Bootstrap are professionals and know how to make sites look the same. You have a bunch of different browsers, okay? So you have Internet Explorer, you have Safari, you have Google Chrome, you have Mozilla Firefox. And basically, one of the biggest challenges is making your site look the same across different browsers. Well, this is some code that the Bootstrap guys have put in for us to make sure that our site looks the same across browsers. All right, so you have the head section, and we'll put other things in here throughout the course. But now you know what it is. It's all the behind the scenes info. And then the next major tag is the body section. Body is pretty much everything you see on the screen. What you see. All right, and a quick thing here. This is JavaScript. For now, don't worry about this, so ignore this as well. Okay, but what I want to get concentrated on is right here in the Hello World section, or where it says Hello World. And I've been talking about HTML tags. And here's the most common structure of an HTML tag. As you can see here, it starts off with the opening tag, So H1, this is the opening H1 tag. Then you have some content. In this case, it's hello world. And that's what's going to show on the screen. And then you have the closing tag. So the only difference between the opening and the closing tag is this slash right here, backslash. And you're going to see this trend a lot. And basically what the H1 tag is, tags help us style the document. So right here, the H1 tag would be like think about a newspaper. It'd be like the title of the newspaper, like USA Today. And then you have an H2 tag. All right, and that's what would be like the section title, whether it's sports or local or whatever. And then you have H tags all the way from H1 to H6. I usually don't get past H3. You also have paragraph tags. And this helps you, keep H1s, H2s, or like all H1s across your website looking the same, all H2s across your website looking the same, all paragraphs across your website looking the same. You can do that through CSS. You can also make certain H2s look a certain way and other H2s look a certain way. So let's get a feel for what H1s versus H2s and paragraphs look like so you can see it. Let's go over here to Sublime and we'll create an H2. And like I said, H1s are like the title of the newspaper, so they're the most important headline. And H2s are like the title of the section of the newspaper, so they're the second most important headline, so they're going to be a little bit smaller. A smaller header. All right, now paragraph tag. This is a paragraph tag. All right, let's save that. Let's go over here, reload the page, and so you can see how hello world is big, smaller header is a little bit smaller, and then the paragraph tag is much smaller. All right, so now you can start to understand the basics of HTML and the HTML documents, and now let's get started on building the 1 million line site.